Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Starfield mod review, where today we're going back and looking at one of the OG Tennessee's mods. Now, you guys, if you've followed my videos and my mod series, you know I like looking at weapons that have been added into the game. Well, the OG Tennessee, under the pseudonym TN, he loves putting in weapons into the game, and he loves putting in different changes, and he's got about, I think, 29 different mods out there at the moment. This one is a plasma mod. Now, obviously, we don't know why plasma weapons did not make it into Starfield. We don't know. They just didn't, right? So TN, OG Tennessee, has put plasma rifles and plasma weapons, basically reskinned the Reveiw weapons and made them plasma, okay, which I kind of really like. So there's a whole bunch of different weapons here. They've got the Regulator, the Rattler, the Lawgiver, Tombstone, and the Coachman. They've all been changed into plasma weapons. Now, this uses the weapon's skill, and it deals a mix of energy damage and heat damage as well, obviously, as you'd expect. They're plasma. There's a whole bunch of different weapon mods that have been added to this as well. You've got the whitehot rounds have been changed to whitehot plasma, penetrator rounds, excited plasma, armor piercing rounds, payload addictive. So they've changed quite a few. Now, obviously, one of the big changes that we all like, I think, if you've never had a Hornet on the Coachman, go and try it. It's pretty much amazing. But the Coachman's Hornet nest has now been changed to Dragon Breath. So it basically shoots out a flame, basically becomes like a flamethrower almost. There has now been new modifications added for the Bridger as well, turning it into Plasma Hornet Nest, like a mix between the Hornet Nest and Plasma Load, which is effectively as grenade projectiles. So guys, go and check this one out. You can basically get any Reveiy's firearm, and this will now be changed. You do also have new ammo as well, so P94 plasma cartridge, Q35, Z43. There's different plasma cartridges for each style of weapon out there, guys. We're going to do this one, and we're going to test it out in game. Now, something to note here, this is a free mod. I like it. It's even better when it's free, guys. Alright, let's test it out and jump in. Now, one thing I did mention is that this weapon does use the laser skill. I already have my laser skill up to rank 4, so I do 30% more damage, as well as a 5% chance to set target on fire. Well, I've got a gore mod as well on, so I pretty much always set targets on fire anyway. So let's take a quick look at this. So we have a calibrated Rattler here. This is just a standard Rattler, okay? This uses the Q35 plasma rounds. We then have the Lawgiver. This is the sniper rifle from Reveiw Arms. This is the P94 plasma rounds. And then we also have the Coachman, which is a Z43 plasma rounds. They're the 3 different ammo types that you can create, and you'll be able to make those from an industrial workbench. Okay. Now we are going to test these out and see what we've got. So first of all, this one, I do have Dragon's Breath on this one, which is the replacement for Hornet's Nest. So we're going to try that one out. So let's go ahead and get that done. So before we test this out, we obviously need to get some ammo because we don't have any ammo. So come over to the industrial workbench over here, and you should be able to, once I cycle through everything here. So here we go, we've got the P94 plasma cartridges. That uses magnetic diodes, lithium, helium-3 and argon. And then we also have the Q35 there, again same thing, magnetic diodes, lithium, helium-3 and argon. And then we have the Z43s as well, again using exactly the same thing. Now, in order to craft these, you are going to need ammunition 3, guys, okay? So we're going to go ahead and craft a bit of these. Okay, now we've got all our ammunition sorted. Okay. That doesn't actually seem to do... Right. Let's try this on an actual enemy, shall we? Okay, so I'll be honest, I'm not kind of loving the I'm not loving the Coachman, if I'm being 100% honest. The fact that it's changed it from Hornet's Nest to that, I'm not loving that. Let's try something else. So let's try a calibrated Rattler. Now I haven't added anything else onto this, so let's just try this. Alright, now we're getting better with the plasma effect. So okay. Now, bear in mind, guys, I do have my damage set to be very, very low, and damage that they do me very, very high. You know what? Let's see if we can modify this. Right, let's have a look. We've got the calibrated Rattler here. Let's change this. So, what can we do? White hot plasma round. Let's put this to maximum that we can. We're gonna do hair trigger. Ooh, what's the amplifier? Okay, the amplifier increases my damage output, so we'll definitely do that. So look at the receiver. Let's install the binary trigger. Muzzle, we're going to add a muzzle brake in there. Don't really care too much about the we'll add a long barrel onto that, and we've gone payload additive on there, and the internal we can't do the amplifier because we don't have tantalum at the moment. Okay, let's try that, see if that does anything else. Okay, so it certainly increases the rate of fire for sure. Wow, okay. So it definitely increases rate of fire. Let's go and test this on an actual enemy. Alright, we've come across a ship landing site. They're not hostile, but what the hell, let's just test these out. Okay. Okay, so the damage output on these obviously is going to be scalable. Obviously I've got it set currently to not do that much damage to myself with the settings. Let's try the Lawgiver, which we've modded up with a long barrel, the excited plasma and the amplifier as well. Okay, that's pretty useless if I'm honest. Okay, that's pretty useless as a weapon, to be frank. Let's try something else. Let's try this Coachman, which I have now changed to have the white hot plasma. Let's try that. Okay, that's doing a bit more damage now. But obviously you do only get two rounds, so... That's the captain down. Where's the other colonist then? Okay, I like the white-hot plasma rounds in here. I really do like those. Kind of better than the Hornet's Nest, because with Hornet's Nest, you really did almost set yourself on fire or explode yourself if you were way too close. So I kind of like those. Okay, he's on the ground. There we go. Okay, I like those. The Rattler is obviously one of the basic pistols anyway. Let's see if any of them had any weapons on them. See if they dropped anything. So he had an Equinox. Oh, I think it was just around here, wasn't it? So another Equinox as well. No, we're just going to take all of that. Alright, so first thoughts then. Really and truly, look, I like the way they've been added into the game. I have only done a Rattler, I've done the Coachman, and obviously the Lawgiver. Damage output, I'm not crazy about it. Now, I could totally test this with me doing normal damage, which I might actually do in a second, and see what the damage output is on this. But at the moment, it just seems like they're very, very painless, shall we say, because they don't really do that much damage. But let's test it with the mod set to, or not the mod, but actual difficulty setting set to player combat damage. So let's set this to normal so we deal standard amounts of damage, and let's go and find someone. Alright, so I've just found a decrepit military installation, and I've just killed this guy here and found out that he's actually running a P94 modified Lawgiver with P94 plasma cartridges. So that's good. You can see them out in the wild. So let's have a look at what his weapon has just given us. So, okay, modified Lawgiver, energy damage of 52. So yeah, you are going to find these weapons out in the wild, guys. So don't worry about sort of having to maybe craft ammo, for example, because you will find them out there in the wild. And yeah, I think that's a good thing. As I said, it does change every Laredo firearm apart from the Razorback and the Bridger to be a plasma weapon. So caveat on that one, guys. If you don't want to lose Hornet's Nest on the Coachman, do not use this mod. However, that being said, the Bridger now does have a Hornet's Nest weapon mod similar to the Coachman. So you can choose that if you wish to. Guys, I kind of like this mod for what it brings to the game. I'm still trying to find somewhere to actually test this out at the moment. I think, look, it brings a lot of plasma weapons to the game that should have been there maybe from the start. Because ultimately, let's see what this has got. Remote industrial site. Let's see what we've got here. Ultimately, look, I mean, we're in Starfield. It's like hundreds of years in the future. Okay, so there should be plasma weapons. And I like the way that TN's integrated them as well. He hasn't just put in a whole bunch of new ones. He has basically modified what's already there, which I like. Plus, guys, the mod is free. That's another bonus for this one. Let's have a look. I've changed my difficulty to be basically standard now. So standard amount of damage. Okay, that was only a level 9. Where is he? Come on, there you are. He's level 22. Okay, so if I need to find myself an ecliptic encampment or something. So that's a level 70. Look. Okay. So when you change, okay, right, that's the defining factor here, guys. If you have your difficulty set to extreme, where you don't do as much damage, then obviously you are going to find that this weapon does not do a lot of damage at all. However, I have set my damage back to normal amounts of damage now, and we are seeing that actually the weapon is doing much more damage now. Yeah. Now that I've changed that weapon damage type, or my settings damage type, doing so much more damage. Yeah, that does change my thoughts on this, because I was originally going to be like, well, the damage isn't great. But you know what? That's actually changed my thoughts. Alright. OGTennessee Plasma mod. That's a thumbs up from me. If you have the right settings, then basically it brings the game into a much better playable state with regards to plasma weapons that are actually in the game now, and the damage output from these Laredo firearms as well, because they never were very good at damage output. Guys, let me know in the comments down below what you guys are going to be doing. Are you looking at using this mod? I think this should be on everybody's mod list, if I'm honest now. Yeah, guys, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.